Well, g'day and welcome back. Today had a little quick overnight camp in good Aussie bush, Camp Fatso. It wasn't the original plan. I was planning on going down to the river, which is a bit further down this track, but as you saw, there's a great big tree fallen down since I was last out here. I tried my best, but I couldn't get it out of the way. Looks like a job for another day. So I've come back here to Camp Fatso. Never let me down in the past, been here a few times now. Beautiful spot. Yeah, like I said, it's in the Aussie bush, miles away from everyone, miles away from anything, which is fantastic, just suits me down to a T. Today is the 9th of December. It's a Friday. I got out from work early again, which is good. Got a fair bit of leave up, so don't mind taking an early mark on a Friday. It's a beautiful day, but I tell you, went for a walk this morning before dawn, and as the sun came up, this nice little frost settled in across the oval and around the path I was on. So it's pretty cold this morning. And the little town, the closest town to here, which is about 20 kilometres further north here, it's forecast to get down to 1. So I'm up in the mountains a bit here, so up in the hills a bit. So I won't even get down to freezing. So I brought the swag. I was planning on sleeping out under the stars. I got a little mesh tent that I bought, a little cheap mesh tent and a air mattress. I've never been a big fan of air mattresses, but I bought one just to see how I go. It's been a long while, so maybe I've come around. But if it sucks, it wasn't too expensive, and I can just give it to the kids or something. But yeah, I threw that plan out the window when I realised it was probably going to get a bit frosty. So yeah, back in the swag. One good thing, it's not going to rain. There's no rain forecast. It's nice and dry, which is fantastic. So I didn't have to put the big tarp up. It's got the little tarp, which is nice. Yeah, so probably get a bit of dew, but yeah, all good. So I'm all set up, ready to go. What I'm just going to do is go and grab some more firewood from around the place and settle myself in. Maybe make some dinner, have a snack, and I'll check back in a bit later. Yeah, okay, well, like I said, I'm at Camp Fatso, and as you know from previous videos, if you've seen them, this is my camp, and Fatso, our little friendly wombat, has his little burrow right here. Now, I always thought that this was his non-use side, but it looks like he's done some renovations, so he's all systems go. This is his main entrance by the look of it, and it goes right through to the other hole. I'll see if I can actually get the camera in there and have a look. But yeah, let's just see what happens when I stick the camera in. So you can see it goes right through, and that's his burrow there. It'll be interesting to see how deep his burrow actually is. I'd love to see him tonight. It'd be so cool. Seriously, I forgot to bring coffee. I had to actually go 20 miles out of my way to a little town to find some coffee. Beautiful day. It's just nudging 6 o'clock, so I might get the fire going soon and cook up some dinner. Sun's going down about 7:30, 8 o'clock. It starts to get dark, I suspect, so I've got a little bit of light still, so I'm just going to settle in and have a bit of a chill for a bit knackered after trying to cut that tree down, and went for a few walks today, so I've been out and about a fair bit today. Like seriously, my truck, like it's not even wet. There was a couple of botches where I had to drive through some leftover puddles. It hasn't rained in probably 2 weeks. My truck's dirtier than it was when it was absolutely wet the whole way in. Pretty weird. Now it's been maybe 3 weeks, 4 weeks maybe, since I was last out here. And the amount of growth that's on all of these bushes is amazing. Like, I know it's spring and that's what they're supposed to do, and there's been rain and then beautiful sunshine for 2 weeks. But they've just absolutely taken over the road again. I can't even like navigate it in certain parts. I'm sort of just hoping that there's nothing under the ground. Like, I came out here with my boys a couple of months ago and gave it a good haircut, trimmed it all back, and thought I had it under control. But nature's an impressive thing. I don't really know how I'm going to keep on top of it over next little bit. Hopefully they'll stop growing soon when the spring turns to summer and it gets a bit too hot. But yeah, pretty full on. There is an old tractor on this property with a I don't know what to call it. I'm not a farmer, but it's some sort of thing that cuts brush down. But it hasn't been used in about 5 years. It probably needs a good service. It's got a big flat tyre, so maybe I need to contact some sort of tractor mechanic and get him out here and get it fixed so I can tackle it in some sort of proper fashion. Anyway, I'm going to enjoy my coffee, chill out and get this fire going, let the coals burn down, cook some dinner. Be back a bit later. Tell you, the smell of eucalyptus leaves burning is one of my favourite things. For dinner tonight, I kind of cheated a little bit. I've got a Mexican feast coming on. I actually made some pre-cooked some chicken, so I'm going to have a Mexican chicken salad, which is pretty good. I just sort of got some chicken, chopped it up and cooked it up with some cumin and some coriander and all those good Mexican things, and I brought it out. So I just got to reheat the meat, and I've got all of this other stuff pretty much ready to go. I'll just sort of dish it out and go from there. Nice and easy, but bloody good. Mexican food's one of my favourites. I say that about every type of food because, you know, I guess food's my favourite. Coffee's certainly my favourite. How cool is this esky? How retro. It's the most retro thing I've ever had. Bought it at a antique shop not so long ago. Cost me more than it probably should, but it's pretty bloody cool. Very good. So I got just mixed salad there with some avocado. I'll put some chili on in a minute. Put some beans and corn. All the taste of Mexico. Chili and some lemon. Pretty bloody good. Check it out. Eyes are bigger than my belly. I think I'm done. I nod to Rick Stein. Yeah, well, I finished dinner and tidied up a little bit. Got myself sorted. Got a few things put away so I can head to bed as soon as it gets dark. Pretty tired. Been up since about 4 o'clock this morning, so been a long day. Yeah, like I said, it's going to be a cold night, so I've got the quilt and the sleeping bag out there, and also got a blanket tucked up in the corner there, and just in case. So I should be right. But made myself a coffee, and I'm just settling in. Going to sit by the fire for a little while and chill out for a bit. But I thought I'd have a quick chat about my channel and what sort of brought me to the YouTube community. I never really expected this to happen. It wasn't something I was planning. It was just sort of a thing. I don't use social media. I don't have Facebook. I don't have Instagram. I don't have any of those sorts of things. I just, just sort of pretty much live on my phone, text messages and things like that. So the whole social media thing's a bit weird for me. So what sort of started it all is, when COVID kicked off, we were all locked in our homes for days on end, and like everyone, we were put on reduced hours, so I had a fair bit of time on my hands and a few things like that. So, and at the same time, one of my kids was showing a bit of interest in video production. So and he was buying a computer, so we bought some software, Final Cut Pro and all of those sorts of things when he got it at the student discount, which is good because it's cheap, nice and cheap. And I started playing around with it, and I really enjoyed just tinkering around with video and playing around with it. And then I sort of started watching a few YouTube channels and really sort of starting to learn some of the finer points of it. And I'm still miles away from being any good at it, but it's bloody good fun. I really enjoy just tinkering around and learning new things, and watching a few channels and watching different people, what they do and how they put things together. It's really good fun. And like I said, about 4, 5, 6 years ago, I sort of got back into hiking as a way of keeping the pounds down and getting away from the desk. I spent 13 years sitting at a desk at a computer and not really doing near as much exercise as I probably should. So about 5, 6 years ago, I got into hiking and walking and things like that. And the two things kind of just morphed into one another. So I sort of started filming, some birds and things like that, because I really enjoy watching bird life and animals and all those sorts of things. So, as you know, I like wombats and echidnas, and in particular, super things. And I just love getting out and finding them and talking to them. I was just as an aside, this morning I was out for a walk well before dawn, and just as the sun was coming up, I was sort of walking down by the Molonglo River, and there was a couple of kangaroos there, and I was having a good old chat with them, and some dude cruised past on his push bike and laughed at me, which is pretty funny because I didn't even see him coming. So probably thinks I'm a complete nutter, but that's what I do. I go out and talk to all the animals and just sort of connect with the world, and I think it's an important part of keeping sane. So when I sort of got a bit of understanding of how Final Cut worked and how video production worked and all those sorts of things, I sort of started combining the two and started making little videos and all those sorts of things. And then I sort of started looking at camping channels and things like that. And there's a couple of really good camping channels, both overseas and here in Australia. There's some really good, interesting channels, and some people get out in some amazing places. And I thought, I kind of do that as well. So I thought, well, why not start taping it and see what comes of it? And then I thought, bugger it, why not post one on YouTube? But like I said, I don't use social media, so I don't promote this in any way, shape or form. My wife doesn't even know I do it. My kids don't know I do it. No one I know of knows that I have even posted videos on YouTube. In fact, my wife would probably go nuts if I told her. So I figured I'd just sort of let it do its thing. And the amazing thing is, like, just before I left, 85 people had subscribed to it, and it's got like 8,000 views. And like, I'm absolutely gobsmacked by that. Only like the first video I posted was in, I think, maybe June, and nothing happened for like 3 months. But the last sort of 2-3 months, I've been posting videos fairly regularly and just doing a few different things, and some camping videos and a lot of hiking videos and just things like that. And people have sort of latched onto it, which is I just find amazing. And I'll put a few names up on the screen, while I'm talking, because a lot of people have been giving me some really amazing feedback. Really positive stuff about how it's coming along. They're watching the progression, and I think that's pretty cool. So so that's my little little journey and how I got into YouTube. I don't know where where I'm going with it. I've got absolutely no intention of making money with it. That's not the objective. It never has been, never will be. So I'm not aiming for 1,000 subscribers, but if I get there, that'll be cool. I'll just donate all the money to charity, I suppose. But you know, at the end of the day, I just love the two things. I love getting out here. I love being in the Australian bush and smelling, you know, eucalypts. As soon as you get out of the car and you're just sort of in the Australian bush, especially when it's a hot day and the sun's been baking the trees, there's amazing smell in the Aussie bush, and it's just something I just love. And so I love getting out here and doing this, and I love being by myself and just recharging the batteries and filling up the tank, and getting back into it when I get back home. But I've also really found a passion and a love for video production and playing around and just tinkering around on the computer and seeing what you can do and how you can make these things look a little bit better, and change lighting and all that sort of stuff. I've got no idea what I'm doing. I'm just sort of throwing myself into it, and seems to be hitting the nerve with some people at least. But it's really good fun. So I'll keep going until it stops being fun, I guess. And so that's what it's all about, and why I'm doing it. And maybe one day my wife will stumble across my channel, or she'll see me sitting at the computer looking at a video. She'll go, "What are you doing?" And I'll have to fess up. But until that day, I'll just keep cruising along. And I assume at some point someone in my network, or my family or friends, or someone will see a video online and ask me about it. So then cat's out of the bag. So, but until then, just be you, me, and the world. Whew. Okay, so fire's died down. Got some warm clothes on. About to lose the Uppbeat and put on a beanie, I think. Can't go around without a hat of some sort when you've got no hair like me. But the sun's just about ready to sneak behind the hills, so I might call it for an evening and let the sun go down. Might do some reading and have an early night. I'll be up, I presume, well before the dawn, and get some coffee into myself, and we'll watch the sun come up. Okay, I'll see you in the morning. Well, good morning. Had a pretty good night. I sort of hopped into bed about 9. Fell asleep pretty much straight away. I didn't read or anything. I just went straight to sleep and woke up at about 11:30, and I was needing to go to the bathroom, so I got up, and it was like a real mist in the air, like I was standing in the middle of a cloud or a fog. And no sooner I got back to bed than there was a few patters of rain, which turned into a bit of steady rain by about midnight. So I got to fall asleep listening to the rain on the tap, which is always nice. Not a breath of wind, so it was just nice steady rain. But I've woken up just now. It's just after 5, sun's coming up, the world's coming to life, as you can hear. But it's very wet all around, so I'm not going to start a fire, but I'm going to get up and make a coffee, and I'll probably pack up and head home. Got a fair few things to do today, so didn't get near as cold as they were promising, so clouds rolled in, so it kept it warm, but so I was very snug in here, I tell you. It was quite nice. Anyway, I'm going to get up, make a coffee, see what the world has to offer. Ugh. Well, I made myself a coffee, warming up a bit. It's a bit colder than I thought it was, actually. Now that I'm up and about, my fingers are a little bit cold. So it did drop down a fair bit, but not to worry. I've been out camping probably, I don't know, I'm going to say maybe 12, 15 times this year. And every single night I've been out, it's been raining, so I guess it's only fitting that the last night would as well. like I said, it's early December, and next week I'm heading up to Foster for a couple of weeks with the family and interview holiday, which will be good for Christmas. And so this will be my last chance to get out by myself and have a bit of an overnight camp. So I guess it's only makes sense that it would rain on this one too. But it's been a really good year. Seen some amazing places. Been out hiking some new places this year, which was good. Camping overnight a few times, which was even better, I guess. Chance to get out and reconnect with the land and the world. Pretty good. Anyway, I'm going to enjoy my coffee. Try and warm up a bit. I'm not looking forward to packing up this tarp. Covered in water. I haven't got any gloves, so my fingers are going to be freezing, but I'm sorry, that's camping. I've done it in the middle of winter with covered in ice, so it can't be that bad. So much water in them. They're such amazing tarps though. Seriously, there's nothing wet underneath. Weighs nothing. Love them. Okay, see you next time.